Hello and welcome back to the story of Atlantis, and the enigma of the Great Flood stand out as profound and enduring riddles. Welcome to the part 3 of our journey, where we delve deeper into these mysteries and their connection to the past. Join us as we explore the influence of Atlantis on ancient civilizations, the wisdom of Manley Palmer Hall, and the possibility of immortal Atlanteans. Let's embark on this thought-provoking adventure together. 83 by 633. May it not have been that these demigods of a fabulous age who, Esdras-like, came out of the sea were Atlantean priests. All that primitive man remembered of the Atlanteans was the glory of their golden ornaments, the transcendency of their wisdom, and the sanctity of their symbols, the cross and the serpent. That they came in ships was soon forgotten, for untutored minds considered even boats as supernatural. Wherever the Atlanteans proselyted, they erected pyramids and temples patterned after the great sanctuary in the city of the Golden Gates. Such is the origin of the pyramids of Egypt, Mexico, and Central America. The mounds in Normandy and Britain, as well as those of the American Indians, are remnants of a similar culture. In the midst of the Atlantean program of world colonization and conversion, the cataclysms which sank Atlantis began. The initiate priests of the sacred feather, who promised to come back to their missionary settlements, never returned. And after the lapse of centuries, tradition preserved only a fantastic account of gods who came from a place where the sea now is. From Secret Teachings of All Ages Index. I've gained knowledge of 2 significant points. First, the Great Pyramid and other impressive structures worldwide were constructed by the Atlanteans, who played a pivotal role in advancing technology and civilization as we know it. Secondly, upon their departure, indigenous societies tend to regress into a state of technological ignorance and potentially even barbarism. This regression is evident in places like Egypt, where we observe a decline in their technological achievements. 394 by 633. It is not strange that the erudite Moses, initiated in Egypt, should teach the Jews a philosophy containing the more important principles of Egyptian esotericism. The religions of Egypt at the time of the Israelitic captivity were far older than even the Egyptians themselves realized. Histories were difficult to compile in those days, and the Egyptians were satisfied to trace their race back to a mythological period when the gods themselves walked the earth and with their own power established the double empire of the Nile. The Egyptians did not dream that these divine progenitors were the Atlanteans, who, forced to abandon their 7 islands because of volcanic cataclysms, had immigrated into Egypt, then an Atlantean colony, where they established a great philosophic and literary center. Literary center of civilization, which was later to influence profoundly the religions and science of unnumbered races and peoples. Today, Egypt is forgotten, but things Egyptian will always be remembered and revered. Egypt is dead, yet it lives immortal in its philosophy and architectonics. From what I gather, it becomes apparent that the masterminds behind significant knowledge are indeed linked to the Atlanteans, and the profound truth lies concealed within philosophy. This realization leads me to contemplate the role of the philosopher, which aligns with alchemy, chem. Chem denotes the Black Land, which offers a reasonable suggestion that it symbolically represents the preservation of the historical truth that Egypt was once governed by a black race. In light of the likelihood that this historical fact might fade from collective memory, it is plausible to speculate that wise philosophers took it upon themselves to preserve this truth in its entirety. Hence, Chem. I will conclude here, but feel free to explore further if you're interested. However, it's worth mentioning that Manley Palmer Hall, a renowned author and lecturer in esoteric philosophy and mysticism, held the belief in the existence of immortal Atlanteans. Hall delved into various esoteric subjects, ancient civilizations, mythology, and occult teachings in his writings and lectures. In the book, The Secret Teachings of All Ages, which we recently explored through a few selected excerpts, Hall extensively explores the concept of Atlantis and its profound importance within occult traditions. He suggests that Atlantis was a highly advanced civilization with extensive spiritual and scientific knowledge. According to Hall, certain Atlanteans attained spiritual enlightenment and achieved immortality by grasping esoteric principles deeply. Based on Hall's interpretation, after a catastrophic flood that he believed wiped out Atlantis, the surviving Atlanteans dispersed across the globe, carrying their knowledge and teachings with them. Hall proposed that these survivors became the forebears of various ancient civilizations and cultures, thereby influencing the development of human societies. Hall suggested that the surviving Atlanteans migrated to different regions, including Egypt, Greece, India, and Central America, where they established new civilizations and passed on their advanced knowledge and wisdom. He believed that traces of Atlantean teachings could be found within the myths, symbols, and religious traditions of these ancient cultures. Regarding the reference to a 12,000-year date, or 1123 years ago, it is associated with Graham Hancock. In his book, Fingerprints of the Gods, Hancock proposes the existence of a highly advanced civilization that predates ancient Egypt and other known civilizations by approximately 12,000 years. Hancock argues that this civilization could have been connected to Atlantis. In conclusion, to reiterate my reasoning and clarify my beliefs, I would like to go through the following points. Number 1. The framework provided by Manley Palmer Hall is crucial in comprehending the past. Number 2. Based on this framework, it is plausible that Atlanteans settled in Egypt and constructed the Great Pyramid. Number 3. Considering the reverence given to Atlanteans as gods, it is likely that they did not engage in physical labor. Number 4. Consequently, there must have been another race present in Egypt during that time. Number 5. This raises the question of the identity of this mysterious race. Number 6. Upon observing the ancient statues in Egypt, it seems that this race had a black complexion. Number 7. If the Atlanteans intermingled with this race and possessed the advanced technology proposed by Hall, it is reasonable to assume that a real Queen Isis existed, given her significant role in the Atlantean belief system. Considering the various possibilities, including the potential for Atlanteans to be of a different race, such as white, it seems more likely that they would have chosen a black queen or someone of mixed race to appease the black population during that time. Number 8. Considering the extraordinary technological capabilities attributed to the Atlanteans by Hall, it is conceivable that this queen could have lived for an extended period, possibly thousands of years. Number 9. This leads to a philosophical question. If immortal Atlanteans appeared in history, where would they have made their presence known? Number 10. Cleopatra emerges as a possible candidate based on the aforementioned question. Consequently, one can conclude that Cleopatra was black. That's all for today's video. If you've enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more captivating discussions. Thank you for joining us, and until next time, keep seeking knowledge and embracing the mysteries of our world.